I, Mr. Africa Zion,
do promise
do promise
that my testimony
that my testimony
I have come to give
I have come to give
to the TRC of Liberia
to the TRC of Liberia
is the truth
nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Please be seated. Mr. Witness, good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you, sir.
I want to say how pleased we are that you will come as a Liberian
Yep.
to share your experiences and make your contribution to our search for lasting peace, healing, and reconciliation.
Okay.
Having said that, I want to introduce the commissioners to you, following which you will say a little bit about yourself, and then you proceed with your testimony.
Sir.
Commissioner Sheka Fumakone is at the end, on my left. Commissioner Pearl Brambu, Commissioner Gerald Coleman, Commissioner Dede Dorope, Asa Washington, and Commissioner John Stewart. I am Chirum Foidia.
Okay.
I would like to ask just a few questions. Firstly, can you restate your name, please?
Yes, I'm Africa Zion.
Afrique Zion.
Yep.
Where do you live, please? Reside?
Presently,
Yeah.
I live here in Minnesota, Brooklyn Park.
Your date of birth, please?
July 15, 1958.
July 15, 19.
58.
Thank you, sir. Your vocation? Whatever you do.
Right now, I'm on the medical field.
You
I help, I give home aid.
home aid medical assistance, right? Can you tell us when you migrated to the U.S.?
2002, August 9.
Okay, thank you very much. Before, I'd like to just introduce Commissioner Umosila.
Excuse me. Did I say 2000 or 2002? No, 2000, I'm sorry.
Commissioner Umosila is at the end, the extreme of my right.
Wow, nice meeting you.
You may proceed now, please.
Okay. Before I proceed, I want to ask a question. One question before I proceed. I'm here to testify, concerning the Liberian War. So what I want for you, I want to understand is this testimony is from 1989 to 1990, or is it from, whatsoever, like 1847 or so?
I would be happy if you can restrict yourself to the statement you gave to our partners here sometime back.
Thank you, sir.
If during question and answer and you want to reflect on the past and say anything of that nature, then you can do it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, as I said before, I'm Alfred Zion. I started working for the Liberian government in 1981 as cadet at the Executive Marshal. I worked for SSS. And when I graduated in 1982, I was sent for intensive training. And when I graduated from my training, I was then promoted to agent for Special Security Service. Um, so I know that how I'm a former employee of the Liberian government. I know. What I want to say here is Taylor, as you all know, when Doe took over Taylor, he appointed Taylor as GSA director. And Taylor took money, he came to this country. He invested money and he came to this country. But later we heard that Taylor break jail. And when Taylor went back, when Taylor left from here, he went to Libya before we went to Burkina Faso. We at the mansion, I'm a special security personnel, we heard that Taylor was training, okay? And there was a troop dispatched to Ivory Coast to find out whether it is true. The people went there, they came back, and they said, yeah, it was true. The people were training. But the Liberian people, when Doe took over, Doe is a man, I know, he just feel that, when anything happens, he will overcome it. So when we heard that this is true, that people were training, the information reached the door. But they said that maybe, coup won't back him and he didn't succeed, so when the war comes, the people won't succeed. So they didn't take it to be, that serious. Well, when Taylor entered Liberia, as I said before, I'm a crime man. Right now I'm saying I'm a crime man, I'm from Tucson. I was living in SKD complex. When the rebel came, they entered the complex, they around the complex there. They arrested me because people pointed, how they said, this is a crime man lives around here. And I was arrested. The man that came first was a minor man, and the commander, they call his name, but I don't know, I don't know, Copa or so. And when they arrested me, they tied me. But, the man that I was, Mr. Flomo, he's the Arab, in the whole area. So when the people arrested me, he called the civilian around to appeal to the rebel that this man is not a bad man. So they say, okay, but then what you say, oh man? So he went around, asked the people in the community, and they collected about $500, Liberian dollars. They gave it to Cooper. When Cooper told me, he said, okay, the man should go, and they'll let him go, but leave the area, that's what he told me. Within that time, the main commander came, I don't know his name, he's a Geo man. And when they told him, he said, no, you bring that damn crime man must die, you bring him here. So my nephew, my children, my wife, they were all there. And then I decided to escape. But then before I could escape, my nephew, they call Washington, Zion, he came, he said, and he went straight to the man, the commander, like he was appealing crime, and right before me, they shot him down. You see, and I couldn't do it, and my children were quiet, my wife, the whole community, the people were surprised. So I entered the house and jumped through the window. So when I was running, and then it was where they saw me running, they said, but yeah, the eye, excuse me, yeah, the eyes went there, and they started shooting at me, behind me. And I kept running. And so, but the house is not far from the bush. So I ran in the bush. But then before I could get to approach the bush, see, the shadow on my arm, see, this is the mark here, because I was trying to look beyond to see the position so that at least I would know how to maneuver. It penetrated my arm, I entered here. And and the bullet stuck here, and this whole place, I was bleeding throughout. Then I ran, I slept in a bush, then I ran and went to BTC. It was when they took the bullet off from this end. So when after a certain time, when Joe went to Freeport, because I was sick, I couldn't do anything. My children were hungry, and so I went. The people came all the way to Matari, so I went and asked my brother, Zion. He's a captain in the SSS2. I asked him, I said, please give me your truck so that I can go and move our things closer because the rebel, taking over Matari. And he told me, he said, well, if you take the truck, you got to bring it back fast. I said, but what happened? Well, he said, well, we need to go somewhere. I said, where? He didn't answer me. I took the truck. I went to Matari. I brought my things. Later, when I carried the truck back to the marshal, I was told that they went to Freeport. And that was it. I didn't see him until now. So when this happened, I was confused. And then I decided to, leave Liberia. But how do I leave Liberia? I can't go across Taylor line. I can't go across Prince Johnson line because Prince Johnson took over Freeport. I couldn't do anything. So one day I just said, well, I have to leave. Then I decided to go to the port to appeal to ECOWAS so that my family and myself can leave. When I went across the bridge, I passed the remains of the new bridge. When I got there, one of my friends, I can still remember, Samuel Bakla, he worked for SSS2, but he joined Prince Johnson later. I saw him, but then he has arms, so I was afraid. Then when I passed, before I could make an attempt to look back, I was on the ground, they knocked me down, they started beating me again. You see, I was crying when the ECOWAS man came with his Jeep. He came and he stopped the Jeep because people were coming around to see what's going on. So when he came, he stopped the car, he said, what's happening, Ghanaian man? He said, what's going on? When he came, they were beating me, so he told the people he gave warning shot, and the people left. So when he came, he asked me, he said, what's your name? I said, I'm Mr. Zion. So you are from what tribe? I said, Crown tribe. He said, but then what are you doing behind here? So I said, well, I want to leave. I want to leave the country with my family. So he said, okay. Is that why you're here for? I said, yeah. I said, okay. Where are you from? I said, I'm from the Barry because, I have no hope again. I need to leave this country. He said, okay. I'm taking you back to the Barry. Go and pack your things, get your family prepared. I will come back with the truck and take you so that you can leave the country. So he put me in the Jeep and took me to the Barry. When I got there, I told my family, we packed our things. In the night, he brought his truck. He put me on the truck. My children and myself, he took her to the port. And then he gave up foreigner and stuff. He said, you guys can go. Carry her in the ship. That's how I left the country. And what I want to say here is that what I went through the war, I felt it too bad until, up to this time, I don't know actually if there's anybody that can really stand, for the Liberian people to really unite, because what I went through, what I know that people went through this, during the war, we really need to come together as Liberians, to resolve this problem. As I said before, I'm an ex-security personnel. I'm not a politician. And so, the commissioners here, what I want for you guys, what I want to, recommend or suggest to every one of you here is that the Liberians are still all over the world. In Ghana, Guinea, Ivory Coast, and all this stuff. People are still facing problems. The Liberian people are still facing problems. And what I want to say here or recommend here is that I want for you guys to appeal to the UN so that they can reopen Liberian people case, because there are some people that don't want to go back now. Number two, what I want for you guys to do is, this lady who is now the president of Liberia, from the beginning of the war, she was not, like a neutral person. This lady made a comment that Charles Taylor should level Monrovia, she was going to rebuild it. That statement alone, I know that she's not neutral. Okay. Now, she's the president. So what we, the Liberian people, need now is to come together so that we can reunite. We are peace-loving people, But this lady need to appoint, elders, most especially from Nima County, from Grand Jida, to head the reconciliation process, And the people should go from village to village, from town to town, to preach reconciliation. But if they sit down in Monrovia and say, well, this is the commissioner, and people go from here and there and they don't do, and involve crime man in it, involve you man in it, and let the people go from town to town and tell the Liberian people that we need to be reunited. We are peace-loving people. Charles Taylor is gone already. He's not there, even though he brought a war, but he's not there again. What next we should do? The next step is to appeal to whosoever is fighting in the war to forget about the past, so that we can rebuild our country. Yes, and what I want to say here again is that Prince Johnson, he was a rebel leader. Prince Johnson was a rebel leader. And now, to me, it looks very ugly for Prince Johnson to be in the Liberian government as a man who has voice in the Liberian government. It's ugly. If the people want peace, I know that the people voted him to take that position. I know that Nima County want him to be there. I'm not against it, but it is not right that a man who killed thousands of Liberians, and then he's now in the center of the house. It's very ugly. We should reason as Liberians, people. We should come to ourselves and say, look, this is not right. This is right. This is wrong. Together we can rebuild our country. We know that you guys were asking this man a question. What I thought of when I said now what that is, it is left with the Liberian to decide. Not American people. We are not American. Even though it's true that the the American Liberians from here did establish Liberia, but before they could go there, we were there before. So why can't we solve our problems? Let us reunite people. I'm a crime man, but right now, if I go back home, if I have a lot of Jewish friends, it happened and it has passed. We all have to forget. Even though it's hard, but we have to do it for the sake of our country. So I just want to thank you for coming here, and the process. I really like the process. I really appreciate the process, because if you know that someone come and express himself or herself, you take that into consideration and then you part of your report. We won't come together again. And we want to go back home. But I can't go back home now when that woman is there. She's not ready yet for peace. I know. So I want to thank you again. And I'm available anytime. If people call upon me, I'll come here to testify what is in the right interest, what I feel is in the right interest of the Liberian people. I'll come and voice it out. So I just want to say thanks. And I'm open for any questions or so.
I'm just wondering, I know you said you were not one of those who was part of the policy-making team for President Doe, but you are in a unique position. Why was it necessary to target Nima citizens or people of Nima County? Why?
Thank you. I was not an EFL personnel at the time. I didn't take uniform at the time. I didn't go to the front at the time. But what I want for you to understand is that, before a security man takes action, there should be an information before they take action, or before they go to do anything. Now, as you said that people were targeting Nima County people, the war started in Nima. You understand what I'm saying? The war started in Nima. I was not there. My friend who is called Tommy Bella, he's a crime man. He and myself grew up together. He was in Botuo. The very first man when the Gyopo entered the kill was Tommy Bella. The chap in the staff in, at the end of every year, the Gyopo they move across to have feast. And so when the people went there at the time, when the Gyopo were coming in, mostly at the time, they thought they were coming to have feast. You understand what I'm saying? And so that night when Tommy Bella went to take bath, they starving to death. That's how the war started. Now when the information came, they sent army people there, to find out whether it's true. When they came back, they said it's true. Now, what happened is we have AFL. AFL go to the front. When they reach in any town, they will say, oh, you can't help out. People will start saying, they will welcome them. When they welcome them and maybe get them food, if you go to the front, that is information I got from there. So, then the people will set ambush and come, and then people fall in the trap. AFL. They will fall in the trap. They did it, I think, 2-3 times. Like, welcome the army people, say, well, the people come to help us. Then they set ambush. While people eat it, army people eat it, then guns start firing from, rocket start firing from here and there. So, according to the information I got, the army people there, they didn't know the rebel from, a civilian, because they were not in uniform. So if you say that people went to Nima and they start killing people, then I don't know, I was not at the front, but this is the information that we got, that they don't know who is who.
Okay. You spoke of this person who was a rebel. You lived around the SKD Stadium at the time. And his name was Cooper, you said, who shot your nephew.
Cooper was the manor man. He came first.
Yes, and he arrested you and then shot your nephew.
No.
Is he the same person who killed your nephew?
No.
Who killed your nephew?
The next commander that came is a Guillaume man. I don't know his name.
Okay.
But Cooper is the one that came first. He arrested me with his group. Then Mr. Flomo, Joseph, the man who was, I'm living to call him Joseph, Flomo. He told the people, he was pleading with this manor man to let me go because he said this is not bad man. And so when the other man came, he said they should get rid of me. And my nephew was trying to, to go and appeal. He started crying, please leave my papa, please leave, And I mean, it was very, I don't know if that how they kill people on the other side, I don't know. And they just shot him right before me.
So you don't have any information on this person who shot and killed your nephew or some of the people who were with him?
I don't know them. The only person I know at the time, because I heard it, they say, Cooper, that's what I heard.
Okay.
That the first commander, and he was a manor man, according because when Flomo was talking to them, he said he's a manor man.
Around what time of year was this?
It was 1990.
Wait,
No.
you can be thinking about it.
It happened before Doe died.
Okay.
So that 1990. It happened before Doe could go to Freeport. So it's 1990.
Okay, my colleague asked a question about killings that were happening, my colleague asked a question about killings that were taking place in and around Monrovia.
Yeah.
I want to, reiterate that question as well.
Oh.
During the early 90s, when the war started, like between the period from January, February 1990, all the way up to October, November 1990, there were a lot of killings going on in Monrovia, especially in the Sinker area and the Conga Town area. The rebels were not there yet. The soldiers were in charge. And we are receiving information that death squads loyal to President Doe and the army were active in those areas. A lot of people died, civilians, a lot of civilians. And there were also heads popping up through different parts of the city, like the 3 heads that pop up on the Somalia Drive of allegedly members of the Giro-Mano tribe. Now, what do you know about these death squads, and what do you know about some of these killings that were taking place, like the Lutheran Church, the Methodist School, and can you just share some light?
Thank you very much. You see, what I took off and what I'm seeing here is what I see, that what I'm seeing, and what people told me that what I will say. I won't lie. When this war started in Nima County, when the people came, the army people went to the front, some of them came back and said, well, it's not easy there to admit. The people decided to go against the Gio people in the army. You understand what I'm saying? Before me, one of my best friend, he's a Gio man. He's a lieutenant. You know what I mean? He was living 72nd. I think all of you should know 72nd. This Gio man, we all used to be together. Under Colonel Jali, Washington, General Jali. Joseph Jali. This Gio man, I live Jacob Town, next to 72nd. they have a group of people in the camp that are army people that go to the front and come back, they are desperate. You see? And so, this Guillaume, he was a lieutenant, first lieutenant. I don't say John Hill, Ray Hill, beyond Jacotown area. That man's head was found in that area. And I cried for that man up to this time. It's a Guillaume man. So why it is true that I don't know whether, that's the Crown people or that whosoever, but what I do know, say he's a Guillaume man, then it's a Crown man that killed him there. You understand what I'm saying? Because this man, he was not a bad man. We all play together, we do things together. As I said before, I have girlfriends. You hear me? How will this man leave 72nd and he go kill himself up and say John Hill or Ray Hill? You see? So if the people say that they are killing the Gio people, I myself, I know that it was wrong. Because they had no right killing the man. If the people come and he join Gio people, okay. He's an officer. You see? So, I mean, that's what happened. That what I know, what I do know is I didn't take part in the war, so I don't want to say, I didn't take arm against anybody. So, I mean, I was like, I don't know what to say now.
My last question. You were in the barracks at one point with your family during the heat of the war, just before the late President Doe went to the port and was killed there. And according to various accounts, the situation with Liberians in the barracks, including civilians, was awful, and also the Camp Johnson Road area. Can you just describe for us briefly what was the general situation, condition of people who were seeking refuge in the barracks and surrounding areas, and how were they treated?
Well, living in the barrack, well, at the barrack, there was the only place that we could go at the time. They have Gio people there in the barrack up to this time when Taylor King. They have Gio people in the barrack. We have a whole lot of tribes in the barrack. You see? But what happened here is, this is BTC, you know BTC. Now, the people came, they were almost to the marshal. Prince Johnson people will come from this way and almost getting to the bridge there. So the only corridor we have was from the bridge to the place. But it came to a time that people withdrew and they came even to the fence. You understand what I'm saying? And so, what happened between the people and what go on here, I don't know. Because of my arm at the time, I was not well. I was in a house.
No, I'm actually hoping that you have given us at least a factual picture of the humanitarian situation with people who were seeking refuge in the barracks.
Yeah, okay. There was a whole lot of sicknesses in the barrack. Like this former CRD, this Madingo man, CRD director.
Bangali Sise.
Bangali Sise. I saw Bangali Sise when he died. Chlora caught him, he was like this. And so people were dying in the barrack. From bullet, if you are going out, you gotta be careful because bullet coming to you. Bullet flying all over. So what I told my children is we should be indoor. But actually, BTC was like, like ghost town because people were, if you go here, you hear people crying. You go here, you hear people crying.
So the BTC then, sorry, that's my last question, just follow up. So the grounds of the BTC then will contain mass graves of people who were dying there and had to be buried because they couldn't come out?
The beach area, like Tomo Banga was buried right there in the beach. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zion.
Sir.
And again, as my colleague said, Please accept our sympathies for the death of your nephew and other relatives. Just as a follow-up to the question my colleagues just asked, there were in Monrovia at a certain time death squads operating. At the time, Monrovia was just the area in which was controlled by the EFL, was just a small area at the time. Sincor, Waterside, those places. That was before Prince Johnson came and even went to Waterside. As a security man, can you say if you would know the identity of some of those who were involved in the death squads? There are reports that there were a number of people, some of whom were in positions of authority, members of the death squad. You know anything about that? Can you say who were some of those that were involved in these death squads?
Well, if you say death squad, then of course, if the war is fighting and you talk about death squad, then of course, I don't know. But Tele was the commander at the time. Tele was the ranking man that people were following at the time.
Who were some of those under his command?
Who?
Who were some of Tele's top lieutenants, people who were under his command at the time?
Tele.
That may still be alive today.
No, I don't know. Because what I do know is Tele was the only man that, according to information, that rebelled afraid of. So it's Tele that was, he was heading the people that was fighting. And, and so if you talk about death squad, I was not outside to see death squad or leader or so. The only time when I was in 72nd, the man I talked about, that's the only man I know about. And I don't know who did it because it was like in the back, they carried him like from 72nd to the Bassa people area before they killed him. And so I don't know who did it.
Who were some of those, to the best of your knowledge, involved in a massacre at the Lutheran Church?
Lutheran Church?
Yeah.
I have no knowledge about the people that went to Lutheran Church. But what I do hear is that Tele was among them. He was the leader. But as I said before, while it is true I'm a crime man, I'm a security man, Go and myself, we don't agree to it. When I hear that thing, I know I'm done.
There were reports that the late president, Samuel Doe, was a part of the group that went to the Lutheran Church. Did you hear anything about this? Can you confirm or deny this?
You say who?
There were reports. There are reports. Stories, rumors, reports, unconfirmed, that the late President Doe was among those who carried out the massacre at the Lutheran Church. Can you confirm or deny this?
Is that Doe left the march and he went there to I have no knowledge of that.
Now,
there's no work. I don't think the world before the and don't leave the marshal to go work. I have no knowledge of that.
You told us that you're from Tucson.
Yeah.
And during our hearings in and around the country, we did go to Grand Julia and had hearings. And some of the revelations that came forth is that Tucson, they're still talking about reconciliation, that even in Tucson there's a need for reconciliation because if you recall the late Willard P. Nebo, who was the first Minister of Lands and Mines following the coup, that when he died and was buried according to a tradition, they say when a big man dies, somebody has to be buried with him. And there's somebody who came and testified before this commission, this body, that his first cousin, who was a security officer on duty at the home of the president, was buried alive along with Willard P. Nebo. Did you hear anything about that? Or do you know anything about that, of that rift that currently exists within Tucson as a result of that?
I heard it, but I was not in Tucson. This man is a Bible man. we have 16 different tribes, sub-region. When they say Crown, it's just Crown, but we have 16 sub,
Groups.
region, sub-tribe. So this man is a Bible man. He's from Zlatan area, Zlatan Portown area. He was assigned, with, I don't know, the police or so, I don't know. But I heard that this man got missing in Tucson. I heard it. But who am I? Single lieutenant, I'm not even assigned to Tucson, so I don't know about it. I heard it, but I was not there.
So there's still a problem today within Tucson, still some division.
No, listen. Tucson, this man is from Zlatan. He's from far off, like about 10 towns in between Tucson and Zlatan. We are bubble, they are bubble. You understand what I'm saying? So this man is not from Tucson, so there's no division between. If there should be
Within Grand Gita, I mean, let's say not from Tucson, but within Grand Gita.
If you say Grand Gita, then of course, yes. Then I will agree because there are some things that happen that people, dissatisfied with.
So, to the best of your knowledge, we talk about reconciliation as a way of starting the ball rolling, not necessarily between Crown and Guilds, but even amongst ourselves, say within Grand Gita itself. What kinds of efforts that you would know are being made to address this problem of division? Now, you remember Nelson Toe, who was a member of the TRC, also from Grand Gita. Harris Johnson was also from Grand Gita, and these were all executed by Doe. Mm-hmm. So, is there any effort, so to speak, to reconcile as a first step towards reconciling between you and Crown and then the larger Liberian nation?
Okay. We are trying to rebuild, according to what I said, we are trying to rebuild our country, right? The Crown and the different sections of Crown, when it comes to reconciliation, Tucson people, the Bobo people, I know that from the onset of the war, people against the Bobo people in Tucson, within Tucson itself, I know. But when we are trying to preach reconciliation now, to me, I feel it should be on the top level yet, because Crown man, at this time we are united. From the beginning of the war, as soon as people hit, when the people hit, we were united, we were together. The people were together fighting. So I don't think that the Crown people are divided now. However, I'm not in Liberia. If this is going on, I have no knowledge. But the reconciliation process should be, between, right now, it should be between Gio and Crown now. Gio, Mano, and Crown.
Have you heard, did you hear anything about the massacre in Glaro?
Glaro?
Yeah. In River G. It's right next door to Grand Gila, Glaro.
No, I don't know. I'm not near that side.
Okay, this was a massacre in which over 500 persons were killed.
The last question?
My last question to you is, as a refugee in America, how have you found it? What particular challenges have you faced since coming, and what do you look forward to?
Well, to admit, why it is true that this is not my country, I'm pleased being in America now. Okay? What I do know is that if you are serious, you come here, you learn better, and you go back home. You live better. But right now, if things happen in this country, and if you don't put yourself together, if you organize yourself now, it may be too late for you. But as a refugee in the country, when I got here, the people gave me they offer me a scholarship. They say I have the time to go. I mean, I'm willing. They are willing to give me scholarship, like student loan and stuff. You understand what I'm saying? And so, the American people here, they are not treating us bad. We know that if we learn here, that will be part of us and we'll take it back home.
How are your children coping? Your children, how are they coping?
How are they coping? Oh, come on. My son just graduated from Duluth University on the other side there. And the other three are they are going to college. One man is, the oldest is now doing like mechanical engineering or what so. So I'm pleased being here. And I'm not hurt. I have not been, nobody has come to me to hurt my feeling here since I've been here.
So you feel no bitterness?
You
feel no bitterness?
Well, the bitterness I'm feeling now is that maybe the bitterness should be from my own Liberian people, not the American. American people have nothing to do with what happened in my country. It is myself that brought the problem. We ourselves brought the problem, so I cannot blame the people. The people accepted me here. I can't lie and say, well, they are treating me bad. No.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Witness, for coming to share your experience with us. And I join my colleagues to say sorry for what you experienced during the conflict and the death of your relatives. In your testimony, you said when the 17 men took over the PRC government, they asked former President Doe to chair. And because he didn't know better, because based on his experience, he had people around him who should consider the traditional leader or his advisors. Could you kindly name some of the people that you knew at that time were Doe advisors?
No. What I said was that when Doe took over, he didn't know that he invited Congo people, like the highest people, they work in his government. You understand what I'm saying? So if you talk about advisor,
Or the traditional leaders, you say, because Doe consulted people when it comes to decisions.
Yes, Doe will call people together to ask their view, say this is what happened and what do you want me to do, okay? The paramount chief, the paramount chief, the clan chiefs, he will call the people together. So if you know one of the chiefs in your area, that person should be one of them, the others. So I don't know, John Brown is the paramount chief of that day, but I know my paramount chief from Tucson.
So does that mean that he didn't rely on the advice of his advisor, only the paramount chiefs?
No, what I'm saying that the elders are the paramount chief, the elders of the nation, the chiefs, the big people, you call them together. That's what I'm saying. So if you say who are some of the people, I don't know them.
In a recommendation, you say it would be better for the government to appoint a guild man and a crown man to help the reconciliation process. But looking at the history of our conflict and the tribes in Liberia and the impact of the war on every sector in terms of family, individual family or society, how can you do you have any comment? Because knowing that this war didn't affect only the guild people or the Mana people, but yet every sector of Liberia was affected. How can you reconcile that?
Well, if you listen from my recommendation, I said that they should appoint guild people or crown people before bringing the other tribe in. That's what I said. Because the conflict was mostly between guild and crown. And you understand what I'm saying? I didn't say they should leave the other tribe. No, that's not what I said. What I'm saying is that the main people that brought about the conflict, they should have it. They should know how to handle it. Then Basso may follow, crew may follow, you know. But if you leave the people out and say, well, crew man can't allow the commission. Crew man is deep, your man is deep. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. You got to put the people together first. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they should leave the other people out. If you're a crew man here, if this man is not crew man, he's done. If you and your people here, if this person is not your person, that person is done. So the people, you got to put them together first. And you let them agree. Let them reconcile their differences. Then, of course, the Liberian, I'm not saying that they should leave the other people out.